We welcome back somebody who's been on the program, I guess, twice before, maybe 2 or 3 times before. But really, Champaign-Urbana is welcoming him back for the umpteenth time, I think. Keith Harden used to be extremely active musician here, mostly on the blues, but on a lot of other kinds of music as well in Champaign-Urbana. Lots of different venues with lots of different groups, often on his own, with friends, with his sister, and so on. And left these parts for New York State in 2001, and then in 2007 relocated to Nashville, where he lives now. But he comes back home every once in a while, a couple times a year or so, and definitely always at Christmas. And when he's here, he does a lot of playing, the culmination being the annual Keithmas celebration with Keith Harden and friends. That'll be at the Iron Post in Urbana, starting at 9 p.m. and going till the wee hours of the morning. And we'll mention the other shows as we go along. So Keith is back with us. He's on live for the hour, and welcome back. Thanks for coming back onto the show.
Thank you, Kevin. It's good to be back.
I suppose it's maybe a trite question, but why do you keep coming back? You know, you could just stay in Nashville. It's a big hopping town.
Well, I come back for family and friends and gigs, and it's just a different environment. And, you know, it's kind of like I need to get back in this environment from time to time and get back to my roots and my beginnings and the place where I played for so many years.
Remind me where you're actually from. Are you from Champaign-Urbana?
Born in Tolono, Illinois.
In Tolono.
But then lived in Ohio for a while and Illinois for a long, long time. And then in New York State, and then now in Nashville for 5 years. I think I said at the crossroads of the Wabash and Illinois Central Railroad, which
that's what you
only
said.
The insiders know that, because both those aren't called the same anymore.
Yeah, I would not have known that. I was trying to think, well, let's see, what railroads go through even Champaign, and I don't know that either.
Right.
If in any event. So, well, people who've I'm sure there are plenty of people listening to the program now who have performed with you or heard you many times when you did live here. And not only did you move away, but you sort of have ventured into some other kinds of music, particularly the singer-songwriter type thing. Whereas here, as I understand it, you were a little more heavily into the blues.
Well, that's partly true. When I played with my band, it was more of a blues-oriented thing, but I did the singer-songwriter thing the whole time that I was here as well. I would do acoustic gigs during the week all the time, and did singer-songwriter stuff mixed in with blues and with whatever I would have a featured guest every week. I did 7 years in a row at the Embassy every Tuesday night, and helped a lot of people get going in the acoustic thing that hadn't done it before, that had been playing in electric bands. So I had been doing it the whole time, but it didn't get quite as much of a, the blues thing for some reason resonated more with a bigger audience because it was louder, number one. But I always have done the singer-songwriter thing ever since the beginning.
And the Embassy you mentioned is now a former bar in downtown Urbana.
Yeah,
which is currently Black Rock Pizza, I think. Is that?
Yeah, now it's Black Rock Pizza. That was one of the places I did it, but I did the singer-songwriter thing in lots of other places and around Champaign-Urbana. One was called Creamies. Now it's called something different. And then one now it's called the Clark Bar. It was called something different. Then it was called Spencer's. And
Clark Bar's been several things.
Yeah, it started out as Spencer's. It was the first bar that it was, owned by my late cousin, Bobby Spencer. And, so I did that singer-songwriting thing for a long time, too.
And you said that the blues seemed to resonate with a lot of people, but it has a certain resonation with you, too.
Oh,
because
yeah.
You somewhere in your bio, you say something about whenever you really need to rejuvenate, that's what you do.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I've still maintain a connection to the blues. And as a matter of fact, just in sort of telling you what I've been doing in the last year, I've got 2 blues songs that are in a movie that's coming up, a movie starring Kevin Sorbo, the guy that played Hercules on that TV show. It's called Abel's Field, and I have a song that I actually did with the Keith Harden Band. It's a blues song called Grace Under Pressure that's in that movie. It's just, only a short time, like in a movie. you hear something for 10 or 15 or 20 seconds.
So what kind of movie is this? Is this a Hollywood film, or is this a local film?
It's a big-time movie.
Really?
I don't. It's supposed to get released on December 31st if the world doesn't end first.
According to the Mayans, right? Yeah.
And it's a big production. It has a Facebook page. It's called Abel's Field, and there's a trailer for the movie. And
how did your song get in there? Do you know?
Well, I knew somebody that did the soundtrack, and one of the other song is a song that was written by George Faber and me that got in the movie too. So I'm still connected to the blues by that silly thing, something that I did 20 years ago. I recorded with the band. And then another thing was I was in that documentary that Bob Zimmerman just did called Out of Nowhere, which I've actually got a little thing there about it.
And what was that about?
It was about the Champaign-Urbana kind of rock music scene, and my band was in there. But it's mostly featuring REO because they're kind of the biggest name that ever came out of here.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much slanted to the rock thing because there's nothing about really Alison Krauss or very many women performers that have been around. But I think Bob's planning on doing another documentary that's including some of the stuff that he left out the first time because he had so much material to deal with. But it's a pretty neat.
There's a number of people coming out of here.
It talks about Head East and REO mostly, but then a lot of the other groups that played Red Line and the bars back in the old days when Champaign first was really, really sparking as a music scene.
What did you bring along to start with today?
Well, when I first moved to Nashville, I became aware of a lot of there's a different vibe in Tennessee as far as the whole gun scene. Living in New York, everything's very restricted, and I became aware of when I watched the news every night of all kinds of gun things going on, shootings and all kinds of stuff, and it made me write this song, and it's still to me totally relevant because of the shooting that happened last Friday, which is horrific. And anyway, it's called "Live and Die by the Gun."
So this song
is a song.
This song predated the events of Newtown.
Right, but
it's just coincidental that here it is.
Well, in the sense that, though, I mean, there have been these things that have been going on for a long, long time, and this was sparked mostly by my observation of what happened when I got to Nashville. But I mean, every time you turn around, there was something that was happening. Virginia Tech, or this was 2007, so that was before Virginia Tech when I wrote this. But I mean, all the other things that happened, like Columbine and all that stuff. So this one is called "Live and Die by the Gun." Am I still there? Okay. All my heroes, they're partly outlaws. They were partly holy men. They were armed and they were dangerously ready to stop the vigilante men. They'd defend you if you joined them, but danger's a part of the game. They knew each day could be the last day. Somewhere a bullet has your name. Another sister lost a brother. One more mother lost her son. Another woman, she lost a good man. One stray bullet and you're done. When you live and die by the gun. What's an outlaw without a frontier? Put their spirit to the test. There were reasons back then you had to be ready, but things have changed east and west. No more showdowns, no more standoff, no poker games for Stetson hats. There are people, they get caught up in the crossfire. They lose their lives in nothing flat. Another sister lost a brother. One more mother lost her son. Another woman lost a good man. One stray bullet and you're done. One stray bullet and you're done. If you live and die by the gun.
Keith Arden with us live on Live and Local, Live and Die by the Gun, a song from, I think you said 2007.
Yeah.
Here on Live and Local on FM 90.9.
So I do have a Christmas song
that
I would like to play for you today. I don't know if I've played this one on the show or not before. I wrote this back in 1988, and I didn't record it until a couple of years ago.
I don't remember. Hopefully I'll know when you sing it.
I didn't know if you're ready for that or not,
Sure.
or if you had another.
Sure, whatever you've got, we'll hear it.
This one's called It's Christmas Time Again. I think I wrote this one of those Christmases when we first started to become aware of climate change. Like, there was one back in the late 80s where it was really warm, like it was 60 degrees in January or something like that. Do you remember that? And I think that's when I wrote it, because when you don't get snow for Christmas, it just doesn't feel like Christmas. And since I've been in Nashville, it was 60 degrees when I left the other day, and it hardly ever snows there. And so that's what made me re-record the song just a couple years ago. Okay, anyway, it's called It's Christmas Time Again. Christmas doesn't seem like Christmas without a little snow falling on the ground. Family all around, making all the sounds of Christmas. Christmas doesn't seem like Christmas without a little kiss beneath the mistletoe. Take a little chance, rekindle your romance this Christmas. While you watch the children play on their favorite holiday, and their faces filled with joy, all of those Christmas toys and all the stockings hung, the Christmas carols sung, a season filled with fun for the old and the young. Love is all around when Santa comes to town, when the world is shining bright. What a wonderful night. There's something about Christmas Eve that makes you still believe in peace on earth, goodwill to men. It's Christmas time again. Oh, peace on earth, goodwill to men. It's Christmas time